I'm going to show you how to prepare woodwork prior to painting. Now what we need to do before we do any painting, okay, especially on dark colours or any timber, what we need to do is we need to rub it down. Now a misconception with some people is that they think that you need to get the timber back to bare wood, which isn't the case. If you've got some paint there that's solid, that's firm, that's not going anywhere, it's not flaky, all you need to do is to create a key. And what I mean by that is a scratched surface for the paint to adhere to. In order for us to rub down the timber, we need glass paper. This is an aluminium oxide and some sandpaper, glass paper, and this is what you call a P80. Now a P80 means that for every square inch of this paper there are 80 pieces of grit, and obviously if it's 320 then there are 320, and if it says 40 then obviously there are 40 pieces of grit, and that means the lower the number the rougher the paper. I've got a medium grade paper if you like, a P80, and what I'll do is I'll start scratching the timber. Now here we are, scratching along the grain. Every little crevice in the turn of the door frame, if you like, needs to be scratched. And what we're doing is we're creating a key, but also we're getting rid of any little lumps and bumps, okay? If I were to paint straight on the paint as it is without scratching it, the paint would go on, but it would really peel easy. You don't have to knock it or go like that and the paint would come off. So this helps the paint to adhere to it. It also makes it smoother so that the paint goes on and it looks better in the end. So it's about preparation, and it's always about preparation when you talk about decorating, and the better you prepare, the better the end result. Once we're sure we've finished scratching the timber, we'll just dust it off. You can use a dusting brush, or you can just use an old dry brush. That ensures that none of the dust mixes with the paint. I've got red paint here and I'm going to go over it with white. I don't want it to contaminate the paint. We'll be going over it because it's sound and because there's no bare wood, we'll be using an oil undercoat. And now we're going to put some undercoat on. Oil-based undercoat, covers well. First coat only though, we'll put 2 coats on probably. It would never be expected to cover red in one coat anyway. "16-hour drying time on this. It may be touch dry in about an hour, but you can't second coat it, not until the next day. And what I recommend is that between coats, remember what we're talking about with the grade of paper, we'll use a fine grade. So we'll probably use a 180, a 120 and 180 in between each coat, just to denib any little bits we pick up in the paint, so that when you do your final coat, your top coat, whether it be gloss or satin, it'll be far better. There'll be a better finish. There'll be no little specks and bits and pieces underneath, which, you know, you do find. Hello. One day 2 now of working on our door frames, and yesterday we did all the preparation that was shown earlier in the video. Well, Now we're ready to do our in-between coats. So now that the undercoat is dry, we can just give it a light scratch with, I'm using P180, P180, and literally just de-nibbing it, just getting rid of any little bits and pieces that we find before we coat again. And when we do coat again, what we can do is we can either use an oil-based coat like we did yesterday, or we can use a water-based. Now if we use a water-based today, we'll be at a top coat.